I believe we are ready to go. Welcome to the 2020 inaugural internal medicine residency white coat ceremony. And I want to kick it off by just welcoming everybody here, not only the residents who are incredibly young, which makes me even more incredibly old than I had hoped I would be at this stage, and some people in the background that I want to share this with, because we have several dignitaries amongst us that I want to welcome. First of all, from a board standpoint of the Good Samaritan Hospital facility, Mr. Jim Ziegler is our board chair. Mary Kay Martin is our board vice chair. Susan Brock-Smith is our board secretary. And our newest board member, who doesn't even start until tonight, is Mr. Stan DeWeese and his wife Brenda. Back in the back is our esteemed counsel, Mr. Brent Stuckey. I have Dr. Molly Weiss back there as well. She is our Chief Medical Officer for the hospital. And Dr. Scott Stein is our Chief Medical Officer for the Good Samaritan Physician Network. I'm also happy to, I think Kristen Mahan is back there as our Dr. Kristen Mahan, President of the medical staff this year. And then from South, Mr. Dan Parad and Dr. Heidi Dunaway, our Chief Executive Officer and Chief Nursing Officer for St. Vincent Evansville.
Chief Medical Officer.
What'd I say? Jeez, Chief Medical Officer. Sorry. So, I've been here 28 years and have not been any more proud of a program than what we are about to engage in with this residency program for internal medicine. There in the 112-year history of this hospital, this will be one of the defining moments for Good Samaritan. So it is really special to have all of you here. It is really, really exciting for us, and I hope is exciting for you. And I wish I could take credit for Good Samaritan becoming a teaching hospital and bringing in young, brilliant minds like we have around under these tents. But the reality is, this is all because of one individual that had a passion and a persistence, and that is Dr. Charles Hetty. Dr. Hetty was an internal medicine doctor who started his career in 1982 at Good Samaritan. He became Chief Medical Officer of this hospital in 2010 and became a really good friend of mine. He had a passion and a persistence to see Good Samaritan become a teaching hospital, especially for young internal medicine doctors. He was like a dog with a bone from 2015 until 2018, and seeing Good Samaritan become one of the founding members of what is called the Southern Indiana Graduate Medical Education Corporation. Just rolls off your tongue, doesn't it? Along with St. Vincent Evansville, Deaconess, and Memorial Hospitals, this consortium is now proud to operate residency programs for internal medicine, for psychiatry, and for family practice. And we're excited to say that likely within the next year we'll be adding emergency medicine as well. Tragically, very tragically, we lost Dr. Hetty in August of 2018. And although he is not with us today physically, Chuck will always be with Good Samaritan and our residency programs in spirit. Additionally, his name will be forever connected to our residency program as you are sitting in the site of what will be a 250 plus seat conference center that will be able to be split up into 3 separate facilities for meetings, not only for didactic training for you as residents, but also for our 1,800 plus employees of this organization. And finally, we will open it up as we go forward to the community for opportunities for them to meet here as well. The actual timing on the building of the facility is now, within the next couple of weeks. So if you look behind you, you'll notice this really attractive traco. That was all about special effects for the event. I actually wanted to drive it over here and do the whole presentation in the bucket, but they wouldn't let me. So we'll be giving free rides afterwards if anybody wants it with their cookies. This center is designed to not only accommodate all of us that are sitting here, but it's designed for the future. It's the focus, along with this residency program, of what you guys will allow us to become. Continue to grow as a regional center of excellence, allow us to continue to have opportunities to bring in the best and the brightest minds to be able to take care of not only this community of Vincennes and Knox County, but the 11 counties that consist of our region. So it's really, really important. The part that's most special is that our conference center is actually going to be named the Charles C. Hetty, MD, Health Education Center. And it's going to be in recognition of Dr. Hetty, his dream, his passions. And with that, I want to recognize some really special people that are here as well. The family of Dr. Hetty. His wife, Ann. His son, Chuck, Charles Chuck Hetty, and his wife, Natalie. And one of his daughters, Margaret Hetty Hatterberg. His other daughter, Elizabeth, was unable to attend. What a special day. To the residents, congratulations on being this first class that comes through our program, and how critical you guys are to the success going forward. You have an opportunity here, really special opportunity. So I say to you, don't screw it up. It's a little joke. You really will make us even more special in the days to come. Thanks for being part of our family, because that's truly what we are. We are a family of Knox Countyans. We are a family of Southwest Indiana and Southeast Illinois region, 250,000 population strong, that needs you to be really good, to continue to help us get better and healthier every single day. So with that, I would like to introduce Dr. Bob Ficalora, who's going to come up and talk to you about a few other things, and let me take a break. Thank you.
So Steve Becker and Rob have been waiting for this for 11 years. I've only been waiting for 2. I've done this before, and I thought I could expect almost anything. I'm not sure if, when Steve started talking to me about doing this, if he said, well, I want you to start this brand new residency, and I want you to do it in the middle of a pandemic, that it would have been as attractive as it seemed at the time. But we did it, and you're all here. For those of you who hadn't seen a picture, we have a wonderful class picture, all masked and socially distanced. It's on the website. And I've had the opportunity to spend the week with these guys, and I'm incredibly pleased and excited about what we are going to accomplish here. I had the wonderful experience. They just elected officers like last night, and they came up and sat in my office, and we talked for about an hour. And it's very hard to not look back at the other programs that I've started and compare. But these guys really, they're already very excited, very motivated, and already have lots of plans. So I think it's going to be a great ride for all of us. I just wanted to introduce our coders. So I'm going to talk with you a little bit about the white coat and why we do this. But I wanted you to know that in my experience, it's always, the coding has always been a joint activity of the chief executive officer and the chief medical officer of the institution. I've never had to do it with 2 different institutions, so we have 2 sets of coders. So for St. Vincent, our our primary participating site and where the residents will spend half their time, we've got the Chief Executive Officer, Dan Parad, and the Chief Medical Officer, Heidi Dunaway. And for Good Samaritan, we have obviously the Chief Executive Officer, Rob McClinn, and standing in for Dr. Hetty, which I think is should be a great honor. I think Steve feels that way. Steve is going to stand in as the Chief Medical Officer for Dr. Hetty, since he knew him and was involved in this whole thing. All right, so why in the world are we making such a fuss about a piece of clothing? Let me get my stuff. By the way, we couldn't do slides because it's too light out, so you guys have a handout with the pictures that go along with what I'm going to say. For those of you who are watching online, the slides will be projected as I talk. Did I do something wrong? Huh? What did I do wrong? I'm sorry, I don't know what you're talking about. Huh?
Closer to the mic. Or get the mic closer.
Oh, I see. It was going to fall off on me. Okay, I got it. So why white? Well, white is a depiction of justice. And when I prepared this talk, there was no difficulty in finding tremendous numbers of pictures of justice, all clothed in white. White signifies fairness. It signifies innocence. It signifies a positive intent. So that's why the coat's white. Now, Aesculapius, who's the father of medicine, if you don't know who that is, he was one of those Greeks that used to sit around in the academy discussing philosophy and medicine. And I understand usually they were naked, but Aesculapius used to wear a white toga. So the origins of the white coat beyond justice go back to Aesculapius, and there's a reason that wearing the white coat is called Aesculapian privilege. When you are wearing your white coat, people allow you to do things to them that they wouldn't let anybody else do. Now, the other side of it, I have to tell you this whole thing about the black and evil or death. My last DIO wouldn't let me talk about it, the white coat ceremony, but she's not here right now. Evil or death was always characterized by the black coat or toga. So there is that whole opposite and negative connotation that the white coat is supposed to work against. And unfortunately, black was in vogue for doctors during the Black Plague, and it did not engender a whole bunch of confidence in patients, because as a discipline, we didn't do that well with the Black Plague way back then. Having taken care of plague patients in Montana, I can tell you it is a very difficult disease to treat, and I have some compassion for those patients and the doctors in the Middle Ages. And then in the 19th century, William Osler, the father of internal medicine, believed in a black suit. He did not wear a white coat on the wards at Baltimore City Hospital, where he rounded. And his good friend Will Mayo, who's one of Margaret and my professional forebears, and his brother Charlie, believed that professional attire constituted only blue, black, or gray clothing. So for our entire time at the Mayo Clinic, we all wore blue, black, or gray. And I haven't worn a white coat in almost 20 years. Charlie in particular did not like brown. So you will never see a true Mayo Clinic physician wearing brown. I don't know what that means. As internists, that has a whole different connotation for us. Joseph Lister, who got into this just about the time the Mayos were inventing a lot of the modern surgeries, had a much more practical view of why you should wear white, because it was easy to tell if something white was dirty. And I did spend a fair amount of time talking to the residents today about what week old pizza stains look like on a white coat, and how it's important to keep the white coats clean as you are seeing patients around the hospital. White coats came back into vogue in the 1950s and 1960s And it became a symbol of authority and respect in the medical profession. And this whole idea of the doctor-patient relationship with the white coat and the trusted individual was identified as somebody who wore white. The white coat ceremony is not that old. They started in the 1970s. It was an idea that somebody had at the University of Vermont originally to welcome new medical students into the profession, and they got their nice short white coat in a ceremony similar to this. I understand that the 360 white coat ceremony at Indiana University takes a long time because there's so many of them and they get coated. The long white coat ceremony is even newer. It's only been around for a little over a decade. And the long white coat is kind of your medical bar mitzvah. You've grown up, you are an adult, you get to wear a long white coat. I can tell you that a good friend of mine was the program director at Duke when they made a decision that it was too expensive to have two kinds of coats, so they made the residents wear a short white coat. And the residents revolted and they didn't have a good match the next year, so they are back to wearing long white coats at Duke as residents. You will get a long white coat today. Short history, it does have meaning. It is important that physicians be identified with the white coat, clinicians, not just physicians. And this is our way of welcoming all of our residents into our medical community at both St. Vincent and at Good Samaritan. So I am going to ask Margaret to come up and give you a brief introduction to this resident. So our residents are, this is one program. We are accredited as a single program. Our residents rotate through both St. Vincent and Good Samaritan Hospital. But because of the way the accreditation rules run, they can only have continuity. Half of them have a continuity clinic here at Good Samaritan that is in beautiful space up on the 5th floor of the Health Pavilion while we figure out how to get the actual clinic built. So I'm going to ask Margaret to read the names and Dan Parada and Heidi to come up and coat the St. Vincent Continuity Clinic residents.
It's Dan, it's this record. First is Andrews Ajapong. Andrews went to the Indiana University School of Medicine in Lafayette, and he hails from Ghana. Michael Carson went to Indiana University School of Medicine and was raised in Indianapolis. Swetha Chenna went to SVS Medical College and is from Hyderabad. Elizabeth Cho attended the University of Queensland School of Medicine, and she is originally from Queens, New York. Isaac Cho attended Keck School of Medicine at the University of Southern California. He was originally from Korea, but mostly raised in Seattle. Neil Corbett attended Touro University in Nevada and is from Boise, Idaho. Daniel Demic attended the University of Louisville School of Medicine, and he is from Chillicothe, Ohio. Keir Mackay went to the Royal College of Surgeons in Ireland School of Medicine, and he is from St. Catharines, Ontario, Canada. Troy Manns attended the University of Kansas School of Medicine and is originally from Eskridge, Kansas. Yan Ong attended Indiana University School of Medicine in Lafayette, and he is from West Lafayette. Christopher Schrack attended Marion University College of Osteopathic Medicine and is originally from Indianapolis. Jacob Weinzappel attended Indiana University School of Medicine in Evansville and is a local boy from Evansville. Adam Lundy is a second-year resident starting with our program. He attended Drexel University School of Medicine, and he is from Lagodi.
Okay. The Good Samaritan group. Rob and Dr. Hetty's replacement for today. Alexander Brody is from the Indiana University School of Medicine and grew up in Carmel, Indiana. Anthony El Khoury is from St. George's University of London and was born in Byblos, Lebanon. Scott Fraser is from the other St. George's University, and he is from Lincoln, Nebraska. Suhail Kokar is from University of Illinois, Chicago, and is from Chicago. J.R. Majewski, Saba University School of Medicine, and is from South Bend, Indiana. Colin Martin is from Rush Medical College and Ottawa, Illinois. James Mockley is from Des Moines University and is from Ogden, Utah. Usha Pashalupeti, Michigan State University, College of Human Medicine, and is actually from Flint, Michigan. Anna Salabasheva is from the University of Queensland / Oshner, New Orleans, and is a native of Santa Rosa, California. Kenzo Soboigan is from University College Dublin and is from San Jose, California. Ahad Larich is from Johns Hopkins University School of Medicine in Evanston, Illinois. And Adrian Lugo is a second-year resident who's transferred to our program from Ross University and a Miami native. It's nice the sun went in. Okay. So this is a special part of the ceremony for me. It always has been. The modern Hippocratic Oath was written in 1964 by a guy named Lou Lasagna. This is a little bit special for me because I knew Lou. When I first became a program director too many years ago to mention, Lou was my first dean. And at that point, it had been a few decades since he actually wrote the modern Hippocratic Oath. It replaced the traditional oath that swore on Apollo, and we probably, in this day and age, that's not something most of us were comfortable doing. He was known as incredibly eloquent, and you could just sit and listen to Lou, and it was very easy for him to convince any of us to do anything usually, and he did. He used to, when he wanted to communicate with us, there was no email then, he used to write these beautiful handwritten notes with a fountain pen in bed at night. And I always thought that was such a sweet thing that he would sit in bed and write me letters. And then I found out it was because he didn't have a secretary. He tried to capture the Hippocratic Oath and avoid the social impact from a fairly turbulent time in the 60s to address things like birth control, abortion, and euthanasia, and medical experimentation, which most of you know were all hot topics at the time he was writing this. So he managed to write the modernized version in 1964 to recognize the diversity of opinion on conscientious issues in medicine and emphasize the holistic and compassionate approach to medicine. So most people know it as the modern Hippocratic Oath. For those of us who knew Lou and for those of us at Tufts, it will always be the Lasagna Oath, which, by the way, lasagna means a casserole. It does not have anything to do with cheese and pasta in Italian. So I'm going to ask all the physicians in attendance, the residents, as well as any staff that are here to stand. Hopefully everybody got their copy of the Hippocratic Oath. And if we could all read it together. I'll start, but everybody together. I swear to fulfill, to the best of my ability and judgment, this covenant. I respect the hard-won scientific gains of those physicians in whose steps I walk, and gladly share such knowledge as is mine with those who are to follow. I will apply for the benefit of the sick all measures that are required, avoiding those twin traps of overtreatment and therapeutic nihilism. I will remember that there is an art to medicine as well as science, and that warmth, sympathy, and understanding may outweigh the surgeon's knife or the chemist's drug. I will not be ashamed to say I know not, nor will I fail to call in my colleagues when the skills of another are needed for a patient's recovery. I will respect the privacy of my patients, for their problems are not disclosed to me that the world may know. Most especially, I must tread with care in matters of life and death. If it is given to me to save a life, all thanks, but it may also be within my power to take a life. This awesome responsibility must be faced with great humbleness and awareness of my own frailty. Above all, I must not play at God. I will remember that I do not treat a fever chart, a cancerous growth, but a sick human being whose illness may affect the person's family and economic stability. My responsibility includes these related problems if I am to care adequately for the sick. I will prevent disease whenever I can, for prevention is preferable to cure. I will remember that I remain a member of society, with special obligations to all my fellow human beings, those sound of mind and body as well as the infirm. If I do not violate this oath, may I enjoy life and art, respected while I live and remembered with affection thereafter. May I always act so as to preserve the finest traditions of my calling, and may I long experience the joy of healing those who seek my help. You may be seated, and Rob is going to wrap things up for us. Thank you.
I'm here to close out this really special moment. And I'm supposed to tell you that nobody should leave because Deb has some special prizes for people, right? Okay, so everybody stick around. I'm talking specifically to the residents. I want you to think about this. This is your program. This is an opportunity of a lifetime to be part of the opening of something brand new. So there is no preconceived model that we're working off of on what this should look like, outside the fact that we have a culture here that we are going to treat people like family. We are going to be respectful of one another, and we're going to live by our values. And you have an opportunity throughout this in this entire 3-year period to actually set a bar. And everything that you do from that bar forward is the bar that will be left for the next group. And so I say to you, set that bar really high. Have expectations of being world-class at everything that you do, and help us to be an organization that continues to grow and get better. You're going to have incredible mentors at this hospital and at St. Vincent Evansville with incredible doctors. You have a doctor by the name of Dr. Charles Hetty that passed away in 2018 that left an incredibly high bar and left an opportunity for you guys to be able to work toward. So take this and run with it, and be really proud of the fact that you're going to start something from the ground up and make it really, really special. So with that, I wish you all the best. Look forward to seeing you every single day in the hallways. If you get lost, I'll make sure that you get back to where you need to go. More importantly, when I get lost, make sure you get me back to my office, all right? With that, wish you all well. Thank you.